and welcome once again to Daily Disciplines. Specifically for today, I want to stay on the, this sounds crazy for me to say, but I want to stay on the negative side of what we've been talking about and listing these 10 ways that will absolutely guarantee your failure. And I want to follow through with this particular one right to the finish to say all the things that are a part of the process of guaranteeing failure, but the way in which most people live their lives most of the time. So let's get to it. This one is simply to list why it's impossible. Now, if you and I sat down and we began to make a list of things about any particular goal that we set, generally speaking, we would be well advised. It's what we call the old Ben Franklin approach. Ben Franklin said, you make a list on one side of all the reasons why it can and should, and on the other side you make a list of all the reasons why not. And then when you get to the bottom of those two lists, then you've got a better chance of making the right decision. And so balancing it on both sides would seem to me to be the right thing to do. And yet, if we're following these things that guarantee our failure in life, then we want to make sure that the only thing that we put down is what makes it impossible. And it's interesting to note in our process of living life that whether we actually write things down or we talk about them, or even if we just think about them, many of us just stay on the negative side of the ledger. And so the things that we are listing are the things that virtually say it's impossible to be done. This really moves us to what many have called the mental side, the games that we play in terms of living life and facing failure and doing those kinds of things that most of us fail, and doing those kinds of things that most of us deal with on a daily basis. This is quite possibly the greatest weapon that you and I have against achievement. You say, Skip, that sounds so strange coming from you. I know it does. And yet it is. It is perhaps one of the strongest, most powerful weapons that you and I can possess against achievement. And here's the reason why. It destroys hope, and it destroys optimism. Someone has said you can live a lot of days without food. You can live several days without water. You can live several minutes without air. But you can only live several seconds without hope. And so when we've done a significant job of destroying hope, we have done a significant job of destroying the possibility of success coming in that particular area of our lives. And the constant repetition of why it is impossible to do builds that kind of environment. And so I encourage you today. I don't believe any of you really want to guarantee your failure. So what does that mean? That means today, list the reasons why it's possible to do what you really want to do. Have a great day. We'll talk again soon.